In this video, we are going to go over how to solve a word problem or two involving a system of equations, and they're classic kinds of problems. The first word problem will be a perimeter of a rectangle kind of problem. You'll see that in a second. And then on the flip side of the video, we're going to go over one where you're given two numbers and properties about those numbers. It's a classic word problem, but one that you would never do in the real world. It just exercises the brain in being able to translate words into equations, which is a very important skill to have, not just in math, but translating large amounts of information into smaller amounts of information. It's important in life. All right, let's do this. The length of a rectangle is 5 more than twice its width. All right, I stop there. There's a lot to translate. It says the length of a rectangle, let's call that L. L is, so equal to, 5 more than, so 5 plus, twice its width. So L equals 5 plus 2W. Let me make that L a little bit more bold. There we go. Oh yeah, bold. Now from here it says if the perimeter of the rectangle is 52 meters, what are its dimensions? This is where I'd encourage you to draw a picture so we understand what the perimeter looks like. But before we do that, let's define our variables. So L equals the length, and that might be obvious, but still you should define it to be very clear to whoever you're communicating to that L represents the length and W represents the width. Now I'm going to draw out a picture. It's not going to be like a happy face, just going to be a straight up rectangle. And now in that rectangle, we know that the length, which is typically the longer side of the rectangle, is 5 plus 2W. So I've got length, width. And we know in a rectangle that the opposite sides are always equal in length. So if you take out your perimeter equation, you have that the perimeter is equal to 2 lengths plus 2 widths. And you might say, well, how is that true? W plus W is 2W, L plus L is 2L, and that is the perimeter. So now we've actually got a little more information we can use here. We have that the perimeter, which is P, is 52. So we have an equation now, and I'm going to write it this way. 2L plus 2W is equal to 52. The perimeter, 2L plus 2W, is 52. Right there, perimeter is 52. And I take my other equation, which says that the length is 5 more than twice the width. Oh, well, we're done with the translation part. Like, this is the tough part. And like I said in my other word problem videos, you want to make sure that you're practicing this part. At this point, I'd go on to the next word problem. Heck, I'd even fast forward to the next word problem in this video and work on translating that one, because then you're practicing the true translation part. The rest of what I'm about to do is just using substitution to solve a system of equations. So good job if you're to this part. This is great. So now I'm going to solve it out. What I do is I take L equals 5 plus 2W and I replace it with this L, because L is 5 plus 2W. So that would be 2 times L. That's going in there. And that's going to be 5 plus 2W. And then that's plus the 2W that's in the original equation is equal to 52. Nice. All I have to do is solve this out. And we're going after W and L because we want the dimensions. 2 times each of these values. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2W is 4W. Plus 2W is equal to 52. Sweet, we're getting there. We combine like terms, we get 10 plus 6 dubs, or 6W equals 52. We subtract 10 from both sides, so it's going to be 6W is equal to 42. And lo and behold, I'm going to take this math up here. 6 goes into itself, of course, once. And what are you left with? 7. The width is 7. Now, it didn't just ask us for the width of the rectangle, it also asked us for the length. So which equation should I use? The 2L plus 2W equals 52, or length is 5 plus 2W? Well, if I want the length, I'm going to use the easier equation here. Right? You could use either one, they'll both give you the right answer, but there's just so much less to do with this. So I've got, and I'm going to erase this arrow here so I get a little more room, that's what I'd like. So I'm going to get L equals 5 plus 2 times W, which is 7. That's beautiful. So 2 times 7 is going to be 14, and 5 plus 14 is going to be equal to 19. And by the way, you should have your units. That would be 19 meters and 7 meters. Sorry about that. You should have your units in there. So that's your length. So we have the length is 19 meters, the width is 7. And if you plug these numbers into the perimeter equation, you will see that it equals out to 52, and you'll see that the length is 5 more than twice the width. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. In the next video, what we're going to be doing, in the flip side of this video, so stay tuned, in the flip side of this video, we are going to be going over a classic problem that deals with numbers, right? And you'll see what I mean. It's like when one number is 5 more than the other number, what's their product? If the product's going to be 17, what's W and T? If W is one number and T is the other number. I'm not doing it justice. Watch the flip side. And here we are on the flip side of the video, as promised, with a classic numbers problem. Let's dive into it. The difference of two numbers is 9. The sum of twice the larger number and 3 times the smaller number is 33. Find the two numbers. So right away, I know what my variables are. It's the larger number and the smaller number. So I'm just going to use simple variables like x and y, define my variables. X equals the smaller number, and then y equals the larger number. Sweet. So it says the difference of two numbers is 9. If we have a smaller and a larger number and we're finding the difference of them, the larger minus the smaller is how we get a positive 9. So that's a little tough there. So the difference would be y minus x equals 9. It can't be x minus y because a smaller number minus a larger number would give us a negative number. Okay, so that's the first translation, translating as we read as usual. The sum of twice, so the sum means we're going to add things, twice the larger number, so that would be 2 times y, and we're summing them, and 3 times the smaller number, 3 times x, is 33. Oh, dudes, we're done. That's it. We've got our system of equations, we've defined our variables, we're in good shape. Another public service announcement again, reminding you, that's what you got to get good at getting to. The rest of what I'm about to show you is just old school solving by eliminating. You could use substitution here, but I'm all about elimination. So it's up to you how you want to eliminate. I'm going to actually multiply the top and bottom by 3 because I'd rather add these two. You could multiply the top by 2 and eliminate the y's, but I'm going after the x's, just for giggles. So now I multiply everything in the numerator, everything in the top equation by 3, and that gives me 3y minus 3x, 3 times minus x equals 3 times 9 is 27. So now all I have left to do is add this equation to that one, right? So I'll do that to eliminate the x values. Oh yeah. 2y plus 3y is 5y. Sweet. 3x plus a negative 3x is 0. 33 plus 27 is 60, and we're very close to our answer already. Divide both sides by 5, and you're going to get y equals a 12. Nice. So y is 12, so the larger number is 12. How do we find the smaller number? I would plug it into, again, always into the original equations before we manipulated them or altered them. So I'd plug it into y minus x. I think it's easier to solve. So plugging into this, we get 12 is y minus x is equal to 9. All right, so to solve this, I'm going to move the 12 over. I'm going to subtract 12, and that gives me negative 3. I did a little mental math. Every once in a while, I'm going to do that in these videos because I want you to get to that level eventually. So I subtract 12 from 9, that gives me negative 3. It leaves me with minus x. I'd have to divide both sides by negative 1 to undo the negative 1 times x. It leaves me with x equals 3. And that's our answer. And it checks out. 2 times 12 is 24, plus 3 times 3 is 9, and 24 is 33. And certainly, 12 minus 3 is equal to 9, so we've satisfied both conditions. Go rock some more of these systems of equations word problems, making sure to just practice the translating part. Then go and practice solving systems of equations. Separate them into 2 different skills.